We will all be satisfied. Let us be satisfied.
Then follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, go you into the other street and part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those will follow Cassius, go with him, and public reasons shall be rendered of Caesar's death.
I will hear Brutus speak.
I will hear Cassius and compare their reasons, when severally we hear them rendered. The noble Brutus ascended silence. Be patient to the last. Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause. And be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor, that you may believe, censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's to him, say I, that Brutus' love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I love Caesar less, that I love Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead to live all freemen? As Caesar loved, I wept for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoiced at him. As he was valiant, I honored him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be abandoned? If any, speak for him. Have I offended? Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any, speak for him I have offended. Who is here so bad that will not love his country? If any, speak for him I have offended. I pause for a reply.
None, Brutus, none.
Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do not to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. His glory not to extenuated, wherein he was worthy, nor his offenses for which he suffered death. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hands in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not. With this do I depart, that I slew my best lover for the good of Rome. I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus, live.
Bring me the Chian home unto his house.
Give him a statue with his ancestors.
Let him be Caesar.
Caesar's better parts shall be crowned in Brutus.
We'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamors. My countrymen,
Peace, silence, Brutus speaks.
peace, ho. Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake, stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glory, which Mark Antony, by our permission is allowed to make, do, and treat you, not a man depart, save alone till Antony have spoke.
Stay, ho, let us hear Mark Antony.
Let him go up into the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up. For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you.
What does he say of Brutus?
He says of Brutus' sake, he finds himself beholding to it all, thus all.
Where best he speak, no harm of Brutus here.
First Caesar was was a tyrant.
9. That's certain. We are blessed and Rome is free of him.
Peace. Let us hear what Antony can say. You gentlemen Romans,
Peace, hold, let us hear him.
friends Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do live after them, the good of oath interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar, the noble Brutus. Ha! Told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was grievous fault. The grievously hot Caesar answered, here, under live to Brutus and the rest. For the Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was a friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus say he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He had brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious, when that the poor have cried Caesar hath wept? Ambition should be made sterner stop. Yet Brutus say he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. You did see that the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus say was ambitious, and sure he was an honorable man. I speak to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you, then, to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish wits. The men have lost their reasons. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin, there with Caesar. The first pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
Has he not, masters? I fear there will a worse come in his place.
Mark ye his words. He would not take the crown. Therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dear abide it.
Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now mark him. He begins again to speak.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world, now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to steer your hearts and minds to mutiny rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Caesar wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. This his will. Let be the commons hear the testament, which pardon me, I do not mean to read. And they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wound, and dip their napkins in his scarred blood. Yet, beg a hair of him for memory, and dying mention it within their wills. Bequeath